So 10 life hacks we can learn from Kundalini Yoga, even if we don't do Kundalini. Number 10 is mantras. So mantras can be found in all forms and kinds. Normally in Kundalini Yoga, we find them in the words that we use, but also in the songs that we sing. And mantras are basically words that we use with awareness, and they have a specific sound to them, a specific frequency. So you can look that up. Feel free to look that up. There will be mantras that you can use, for example, in order to focus on certain areas of your life, or focus on certain affirmations that you want to involcrate more in your day-to-day. But also mantras, to me, when I first heard it, I always felt like that's something so typically yoga-like. And at the same time, this might be true, but however, you can also find mantras in songs. So I found that for me, for example, when I had a song that stuck in my head for an amount of time, if I would focus on that song and I would listen to the lyrics, there would always be an underlying message for me in that specific moment. And that is something that you can work with too. So you don't need to go on YouTube or Google and do the research about mantras, or finding out which mantra in Hindu or whatever other language might be fitting for you. It's enough if you start to use the words, or if you start to be aware. That's the thing, to start to be aware of the words that you use on a daily basis. And sometimes this can be sentences, and sometimes this can be songs that all of a sudden you just have in your head, going round and round and round and round, without even noticing it sometimes. But going back to the beginning, if you can find the sweet spot in noticing that, you can actually work with that. So I ask you to I kindly ask or invite you to ask yourself, why is that song playing in your head? What is the underlying message? And how does that resonate with you? Because in a way, it is your unconscious part trying to tell you something, being fully aware. So knowing that can make it easier to access the topic of mantras also for yourself. At the same time, curious and funny thing about that too is that maybe songs that you have listened to for a while don't resonate with you anymore, just because the words might not be resonating, or maybe the frequency does not resonate. Typically, we can see that, for example, being true with, let me think about an example here. If, for example, you're heartbroken, if you were in a relationship and you just listen to like all those heartbroken songs that might be out there, they won't resonate with you if you're in a happy mode. If you're in a happy mood, the probability that you will listen to that kind of playlist, you will probably find other songs, right? So also the frequency and the sound of songs, they can tell you a lot about your current emotional state. Even as I mentioned, for example, especially if it's something that is running unconsciously. Right. So I hope you enjoyed these 10 life hacks that we can take out from Kundalini Yoga, even if we do not practice. And feel free to experiment for yourself on your day-to-day. Have fun with it. And I'm looking very much forward to see you in the next one. Until that time, take care and see you in the next one. Bye.